Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is episode 2, Sakina Searching for the Light. This is meant to be for teenagers. Of course, adults can benefit from it as well. This is a story of young Sakina who was very successful in school and grew up, finished school, and then she wanted to go to university, but she could not go to the university because there are too many people who wanted to go to the university, and university did not have enough space. Even though she was one of the best students, there must have been students better than her. So she ended up going to the United States and joined her brothers. There were 2 brothers and her father were there, and she went to join them there. And she started studying there for a couple of years and at the same time working for her brother. Then later on, she became, and of course here, she was not practicing Islam anymore. She forgot about it because she wanted so much to be like the Americans, because while she was in Iran, she wanted to go to the US. She wanted to be like the Americans. She was a teenager, you know. A lot of times teenagers want some things that's really incredible and unreal, and it's not good for them. But because other teenagers, their friends want the same thing, they feel this is the right thing. They desire it. A lot of teenagers go through that. So anyhow, so she was not practicing. Then she ended up getting a clothing store, had clothing for the younger people in their late teens and 20s, and she loved that. And then later on, she got a license to sell real estate, which is not an easy thing to do, but she did that. She was successful. And she was the kind of person that if she had a goal, she would achieve it. This was incredible. As you can see from the childhood, she wanted to be the first class student. She studied very hard. She achieved that goal. Then she wanted to go to US. She achieved that goal. She wanted to get a license, got this. And now she wants a lot of money. She wants a lot of money. What's she gonna do? So she worked very hard, sold houses. She learned many things about this field, so people trusted her. And she made a lot of money. Even she was driving a Rolls Royce. Do you know what a Rolls Royce is? Rolls Royce is a car that kings and queens drive in Europe in the old times. She had one because it made her like a big shot. And she thought she was beautiful. Then she was a model for clothing, for photography, and anything that, you imagine the young person would want to have, she had. So she could taste it. And then when she had tasted all of this, and she realized her life is empty. What do I want now? She said, oh, I know, a husband. If I have a husband, that is going to be the happiness I'm looking for. She ended up marrying a man, a good man, and ended up having 2 children. She got married at age 32. The first child was when she was 34. The second child was when she was 36. But she found that she was not happy. This was not it. Marriage had problems. So where is the happiness? It was around this time that she started looking into different religions. She didn't have peace. Her situation with her husband was not good. So she joined Hinduism. Can you believe that? Hinduism. She found that they're worshipping idols. They're worshipping other than Allah. Of course, she didn't know Allah, but because her origin was Islam, and her origin was always told there's only one God. When she came to Hinduism, she found that they're worshipping other than one God. She turned away. She joined Buddhism. Jumping from the frying pan into the fire. That's what she did. Buddhism, same thing. Some Buddhists don't worship any God. They say it doesn't exist. Some Buddhists worship thousands. Unlimited. There's gods everywhere. Some Buddhists, they worship Buddha as God. But Buddha never said to worship him. Anyway. Where is she going to go? Then she had moved to Northern California, a place where people, they call it New Age. This New Age people, they're very open-minded, very kind people. They showed her a lot of kindness, but they said, we are gods ourselves. And we can decide for everything ourselves. Our future, our destiny is our own hands. And she thought, no, this is not for me. Then what did she do? She joined Christianity 7.5 years. During this time, they all asked Jesus for anything they wanted. They worshiped Jesus. She could never do that. But she thought, that's it. There is nowhere else to go. I have to stay here. But she was not baptized. You know, baptized is like when a person is submerged in the water by the pastor. This is officially declaring her Christianity. So when the pastor asked her if she wants to be baptized, to be Christian, she remembered that she was Muslim at one point. She says, well, I can be a Muslim, I can be Christian at the same time. The pastor said, no, once you become Christian, you're not a Muslim anymore. Well, she didn't want to worship Jesus as God. When she had married her husband, he was an American, a non-Muslim, and she knew that he had become Muslim for her to marry him. So he accepted, he became Muslim, although was not practicing. And they both bought a book, Quran, and they never opened it up. It was at this time she decided she needed a few days to think about this. Asked the pastor, give me a few days. He said, okay. He took this Quran with him and he started reading Surah Al-Fatiha. And when she was reading the Surah Al-Fatiha, she fainted. When she woke up, she realized that she had found Allah. 15 years of looking for Allah. She found Allah in this few ayahs that in the first chapter of the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. She'd never seen any of the Bible chapters start with God's name or any of the books that she had read. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Praise be to the Lord of the worlds. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Most gracious, most merciful. Malik Yawmiddin. The owner of the Day of Judgment. There's a Day of Judgment. The Hindus don't believe in that. The Buddhists don't believe in that. The Christians don't talk about it really much. Anyway, this was really interesting realization till she came to the next ayah. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Subhanallah. You alone we ask, you alone we worship, and from you alone we seek help. This was like probably the most important realization of her entire life. That Allah is saying, we're only going to worship you. Say this. She's teaching, Allah is teaching us to say that you alone we worship and from you alone we seek help. Then she realized how many religions she joined. She thought, Ya Allah, if you drop a rock, very big rock from the sky and drop on me, I deserve it for what I did. And إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ اهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ. Allah is telling us to ask Him, guide us to the straight path. صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. The path of those whom you have bestowed your mercy, not those who have gone astray or angered you. This did it for her. She immediately went to church, asked the pastor, thanked the pastor for telling her to be baptized, and the pastor was so happy. So, you're ready to be baptized? She said, no, I'm ready to go to Islam, return to Islam. That became her path from that time. It was late 1980s. Inshallah, I'll tell you more later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.